Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye. So I've received the invoice, and now a little historical note. The GDR, the German Democratic Republic, was once a country before the reunification of the two Germanys and the collapse of the USSR. It was friendly towards us. Well, how friendly can the Germans really be towards us? So they produced very good trucks. IFA W50L. The correct name of the vehicle is V50L, where the letter V stands for the city of Werdau, where the truck was developed. It has a payload capacity of 50 quintals, which is 5 tons. And the letter L indicates that the vehicle was produced in the city of Ludwigsfelde. As for the word IFA, it's not the name of a company, but an abbreviation for the Industrial Association of Car Manufacturers in the GDR. This association also included Trabant, Wartburg, Barkas, Robur, Multicar, Simpson, and MZ. So, 50. Someone might ask, why were they supplied to us? When did the USSR have its own trucks? Well, first of all, we didn't have enough of our own. The country has accomplished the work of centuries for the years. And secondly, we were tied up with social obligations and related contracts. And you know, the Union never regretted that the GDR supplied us with the V50. The thing is, the vehicle was very advanced. A large cabin with huge windows, a high ground clearance, and a spacious bubble. Believe it or not, but the sides here are original, although they've been extended by 3 boards. The boards are thinner than the domestic ones. Do you see? They bend, but they don't break. The truck's payload capacity is just over 5 tons. So those boards that I'm loading are like a drop in the bucket for an elephant. But it's how it is. In general, Soviet comrades love to operate vehicles with significant overloads. There was this concept of a plan, and it's better to exceed it. The truck's design is a classic frame. Dimensions. The length is 6530 mm. The width, 2500 mm. The height is 2600 mm. The ground clearance is 300 mm. The body itself was convenient. The length was no less than that of Soviet trucks. The cabin is located over the engine. And the thing is, the cabin is located over the engine. There are a lot of interesting solutions here. The cabin and lift. Access to the engine is only through the cabin. But the Germans thought of everything. In case of a major engine failure, turns and moves forward. The engine shield is removed. Someone might say, well, it's hard to pull the engine with the gearbox.
Here, the comrade's hand surprised us.
The gearbox is connected to the engine via a short drive shaft. 4 bolts and that's it. Again, the clutch is easy to change. The rear leaf spring axle is also quite complex. The half shafts are located outside the beam, not inside.
How long have you had it? I've had this car for 24 years, since 1990.
So you've been driving it for 24 years? Yeah. How about the spare parts?
It doesn't break down.
Not break.
There are some small parts, but they can be found, usually with makeshift solutions.
Have?
Never. It only burst once. The glass settling tank was replaced by a bottle. It's plastic. They successfully installed it.
Got it. You've been driving it for almost a whole year. If you were to switch to a domestic car, something new and good.
Never in my life.
What about?
No.
And it's the farthest distance you've traveled?
Approximately 800 kilometers one way. City of Volgograd.
Can't find anything better.
No. It will take you away and bring you back, like a horse.
The cabin. Well, basically that's all you need. The seat is adjustable. There are few instruments. They are to the point. The cabin heater, the hatch, and actually the hood under which the engine is hiding. A straight four-cylinder diesel engine with a displacement of just over 6.5 liters, with a highly advanced direct fuel injection system under the license of the West German company MAN, with a power output of approximately 125 horsepower at 2,300 RPM.
The engine, the Germans to save fuel. It operates on the 2 cylinders. Basically, it's 2 urgent engines with a common crankshaft. All right, let's hit the road.
With my height, even after adjusting the seat, it's quite tricky to drive. Because of the pedal layout, my knees, the steering wheel. It's sometimes a bit sketchy. But a person gets used to everything, especially to the good. And the truck, back in those days, was unmatched in the socialist market. Amazing visibility. The steering wheel is big. You sit monumentally, like a statue. What a truck. It makes you want to achieve some labor feats. The situation here is like this. By the way, the gearbox is a 5-speed with synchronization. You don't need to press the clutch twice, and just keep in mind, remember that this IFA was specifically built in 1969. The vehicle also had excellent off-road capability with the option to lock the rear axle. But I didn't have to use it. The IFA just climbs without thinking about anything. Moreover, the good weight distribution allowed the vehicle to perform well in challenging road conditions. What kind of brakes are here? First of all, hydraulic with pneumatic assistance. Secondly, they are dual circuit. Thirdly, even if the pneumatic system fails, the IFA will still brake. You just need to press the pedal harder. I'm going, I'm going, rivers, mountains, something like seas.
I'm going, I'm going, rivers, steppes, mountains.
In 25 years, 75 versions and more than 260 modifications of this truck were produced. In the 70s and 80s, the V50L vehicles were successfully used in the Baltics, in Leningrad, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Siberia, and many other regions. They were supplied Africa and Asia.
Yes, upholstery. The bearings were produced in the USSR and supplied to Germany.
More than 20 years have passed since the collapse of the socialist bloc, and many IFAs gone to the great beyond under the strong hands of scrap metal collectors. But those that are left are still working. The factory itself, after the reunification of Germany, returned to its pre-war owner, Daimler-Benz. In 1990, the story of the magnificent trucks came to an end. But many who were relocated from Europe still live successfully in the vastness of our motherland to this day. And not just life, but work. And this will last forever. As long as there is a master in Russia who, despite everything, despite all the twists and turns, revives the small, which is the foundation of the great, and enduring spirit of resilience and hope. Of course, I managed to tell you everything about the car. If I don't mix things up, that would be good. But I hope I at least managed to tell you one chapter from our history. Contradictory, of course. It's history, but it's our history together.